It is difficult to describe Albuquerque. Both ancient and cutting edge, equal parts cool and quaint, it is an oasis in the high desert. Full of people with rich histories and inspiring ideas you won't find anywhere else. There is truly no other city like it. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but even that many would be doing Albuquerque a severe injustice.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. We are going to have a great show this evening. We have some extraordinary music for you this evening by some extraordinary musicians. It's wonderful to finally be back in front of live music. I hope you all agree. Tonight's performance couldn't have been possible, though, if it wasn't for the help of a number of people. I'd like to give some recognition to those groups. First of all, we want to give some thanks to Albuquerque Public Schools for allowing us to be here in this facility. We also want to give special thanks to Atrisco Heritage Academy and the staff, and specifically their principal, Ms. Irene Cisneros. You guys are right on cue. Thank you. Also, financing. We've had a lot of funding support to be able to put together this event. The greatest supporter of Mariachi Spectacular over the years, and continues to be a supporter tonight, is the city of Albuquerque. We have a special guest, so I'm going to bring her out here in a moment, from the city that has been instrumental in making sure that our funding for the arts here at Mariachi Spectacular continues, and that's City Councilor Lan Sena. I'll bring her out in a moment. Also, though, we want to give special thanks to New Mexico Arts and the Urban Enhancement Fund. Without the support from these three organizations, all the events that we have done this week, which have been instructional clinics as well as 2 concerts, could not have been achieved. So we want to give them some special thanks. Okay, so let me bring out somebody who's been a great supporter of ours, and she's a really great lady, City Councilor from District 1, Ms. Lan Sena.
Again, my name is Lan Sena. I'm your city councilor for District 1. I tapped Peter early on and said, hey, I really want to take this time to recognize Mariachi Spectacular, because during the pandemic, we all faced so much hardship. And a lot of us stepped up to the plate to really address the need of our community. And one of those was Mariachi Spectacular. It was Peter. Early on in the pandemic, when we had our long-term care facilities, our nursing homes, when we weren't allowing community to actually visit our loved ones because of those that were at risk, and we came up with a great idea along with Senior Affairs and said, a lot of those that are still in these facilities not being able to see their loved ones or go out, they need music too, and it is the livelihood, and what better way to serenade our seniors through music with Mariachi Spectacular. And Peter and Mariachi Spectacular actually stepped up out of their own pocket, had mariachis along with students from Atrisco Heritage come to the windows of a long-term care facilities. We had a car show and really serenading our seniors, and afterwards, those that were bedbound were still able to enjoy the music somewhat in person, even though it was from a window. So I just want to take this time to really thank them, thank the board, thank a lot of the musicians and community for stepping up and doing this through a time of hardship, and now I'm so glad to see everyone in person and being able to experience this, but I wanted to be sure to really recognize the work that they did and how much love that they continue to share in the music that they brought to our communities. I know that even still, our community members are still telling us of the time that they were serenaded through the window, so thank you.
All right, so thank you, City Councilor. Now to move the show along, I'd like to introduce you to a lady who anybody in the mariachi field knows her well. She is a co-founder of Mariachi Spectacular de Albuquerque and has been with us in this community working diligently in this genre for over 30 years. She still, to this day, continues in our organization as the executive director of Mariachi Spectacular, and she's just a great lady. Let me introduce you to Miss Noberta Fresquez.
It's so wonderful to see all of you live in person. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. I'd like to welcome you, like Peter did, to the very first Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars concert this evening. Thank you for joining us here, and thank you to all our viewers that are seeing us from wherever you're at. Thank you for joining us. I know that there's some people in Santa Barbara, California, watching in, San Antonio, all over, so we welcome you as well. As we all know, the year 2020, which, by the way, would have been our 30th anniversary, thanks to my partner, Dr. Rupert Trujillo, and the University of New Mexico, our Mariachi Angels, all our volunteers and sponsors. However, 2020 was, in fact, a silent and dark year for producers such as us and performers of entertainment events. This year, we elected to come back in a cautious manner, but in a spectacular way. Of course, we had to live up to our name, right? At this point, it is only right to recognize and thank the team that made it happen. Peter, of course, whose support oils the machine. Antonio Reina, my successor, who couldn't be with us this evening due to a family emergency, but is responsible for much of the advanced work to set up tonight's performance. We miss him, but I guarantee you, with God's help, he will be with us next year. We miss you, Antonio. Amelia Garcia, our forever angel. Thank you, Amelia. Talk about being on the spot. We could not have done it without your valuable input in our planning and energy in coordinating last-minute occurrences. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Monica Trujillo, for your valuable assistance. Thank you, Serena, Sierra Facio, Brandy White, Mike, and all the Atrisco staff. Without a doubt, thank you to all our All-Stars, members of this premier group, Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars Ensemble. Again, as you know or may not know, Mariachi Spectacular's overall mission is to promote and preserve the history, education, and music of the mariachi tradition. We have done this by bringing forth the very people that are responsible, however unknown, by the millions of mariachi fans throughout the world. We have accomplished this through education by learning of those that are no longer in our midst, and by inviting and inducting those mariachi pioneers and icons that have been with us into our International Mariachi Hall of Fame. They are the foundation of where we stand today. This year, it is my honor to continue our mission by recognizing and honoring the next generation. The idea of torch carriers of the mariachi flame could not be more appropriate for our All-Stars as it is for athletes around the world. Each member selected for this premier group passed through our conference and continues to participate in our Mariachi Spectacular event on their musical journey. We created a list of potential candidates. The list is quite long enough to continue the tradition of our All-Stars recognition and honoring for torch carriers in the future, for far into the future. By the way, the room for the induction of our All-Star torch carriers is in the same building as our International Hall of Fame. The selection criteria includes past members of our master class since 2001, when we started the master class, and those prior to 2001 whose outstanding performance was captured and were invited to teach at our conference. Among this year's founding group included our arrangers, composers, group founders, music directors, mariachi conservative founder, publishers, mariachi instrument producers. They come all the way from New York and all the way to Chihuahua, Mexico. In addition to their mariachi hats, they are also great role models for our youth. Side-by-side careers with their mariachi journey include engineers, public school teachers, lawyer, entrepreneurs, and the list goes on. They have never performed as a group before this evening, and it is truly an exciting night, and I am most honored this evening to introduce our premier mariachi spectacular all-stars ensemble. We'll start with the violin section. And our first violinist, pásale, Álvaro, pásale para acá cerquitas, te quiero cerquitas. Álvaro Paulino Jr. He was born and raised in New York City, although his family comes from the state of Jalisco, right? Puebla, perdón. He is currently the musical director for his father's mariachi, who was founded in 1983, Mariachi Tapatio de Álvaro Paulino. Mariachi Tapatino de Álvaro Paulino takes pride as the Northeast's finest mariachi from New York City and serving as role models for the future generation of mariachi musicians, men and women in New York City and the rest of the Northeast. Álvaro has been featured on channels like ABC, NBC, MTV, MTV3, Univision, Telemundo, and on extra more. He has also been featured on ABC's romantic comedy show, Cupid, Good Morning America with Diane Sawyer, MTV, MTV3, MGM Movie, The Zookeeper, starring Kevin James, which has premiered summer 2011, NBC's multiple award-winning comedy 30 Rock, along with Tina Fey and many more. He has also performed at many prestigious events and venues, most notably Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall, Lincoln Center, Carnegie Hall, St. Patrick's Cathedral, Rockefeller Center, and Cipriani Wall Street. In 2000, Álvaro Paulino Jr. founded the New York City Mariachi Conservatory Mariachi Master Apprentice Program, a professional mentorship, musical enrichment, and cultural expression for all ages. This program instructs youth and adults who are ready to advance their skills as mariachi musicians. Weekly sessions provide professional instrumental technique performance development, vocal teaching, music theory education, and performance etiquette, while enhancing repertoire that emphasizes the traditional and popular mariachi music forms, including sones, rancheras, huapangos, boleros, and polkas. Training focuses on the core of musical instruments traditional to the mariachi ensemble: guitarrón, vihuela, guitar, harp, violin, and trumpet. Please help me welcome our all-star mariachi spectacular torch carriers of the mariachi flame from New York City, Álvaro Paulino Jr. Next in our violin section, we have our next violinist, lovingly known as La Chaparrita, and you'll see why. Her name is Elizabeth Mendez Mendoza, also a violinist, music education graduate, music teacher, and parent. She was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. She attended the New Mexico State University in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and graduated in December 2013 with a BS in music education. She started violin lessons at the beginning of her 3rd grade. Her parents were taught and found about a program that taught violin and enrolled Elizabeth in the violin lessons with the Suzuki method. Many of you are, Suzuki, right? Suzuki method. My great-granddaughter started on that too. And progress was to see if it might be interested. And of course, she knew that she had not been exposed to this type of music. So her parents took her, but she instantly fell in love with the music and the idea of having other students from different parts of the city come together to learn to play this music. She continued her classical music throughout elementary school and middle school. She was in the orchestra, but played mariachi music during the weekends. She also, during her high school, played in the orchestra, the mariachi group, the band, one semester, and even played for the Texas Fiddler Stampede, a fiddling group, for a short while. She is a member of the Youth Symphony of El Paso, run by the University of Texas at El Paso, and later the El Paso Youth Symphony, run through the El Paso Symphony Orchestra. She played for the Las Cruces Symphony Orchestra and at times with the Doña Ana Opera. Her way of spending money was playing with a local mariachi group and even a heavy metal group. What she has enjoyed most, she tells us, during her college years were her classes where she had to learn to play all instruments, even if it meant that her arms were not long enough to reach some notes on the trombone, or that the drums had to be adjusted to her short stature. She mostly enjoyed working with her students during her student teaching semester. Watching them grow musically was very satisfying. And she also had the opportunity to work with a professional all-female group, Mariachi Reina de Los Angeles, with Maestro Jose Hernandez for several years. She got to start the mariachi program under Maestro Jose Hernandez in the Santa Ana School District and various schools to enrich their Hispanic cultures for several years. She also played at St. Mark's Catholic Church and Santa Lucia Church. This is her second year as mariachi director for the Clark County School District, teaching at Helen C. Cannon Junior High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. It has been such a great experience being able to engage students and their parents. Through the mariachi program, parents and the community have been given the opportunity to come out and support their children. Seeing mariachi music unite the students, the parents, and community is what makes her job rewarding. Please help me welcome our all-star mariachi spectacular, Elizabeth Mendez. Okay, well, we're going to try and go through this. Our next violinist in the Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars Ensemble is a young man that comes from Chihuahua. He used to attend our conference for many years, and Juan Manuel, pásale por acá. He started, I'm going to translate because, is there anybody in here that does not understand Spanish? Ah, no, entonces lo voy a decir en español. Perfecto. Juan Manuel, regalado a Naya, comenzó sus estudios musicales a la edad de 17 años en la Facultad de Artes de la Universidad Autónoma de Chihuahua. En el mes de mayo del 2003 ingresó a un mariachi local en la ciudad de Chihuahua. Mariachi por tradición y herencia familiar. Es la tercera generación, third generation, of mariachis dentro de su familia Anaya. Es nieto de Antonio Anaya Pantoja y sobrino de Antonio Anaya Jr. ¿Estás aquí, Antonio? No te veo. Ah, mira, felicidades. También él conoció la conferencia aquí en Mariachi Espectacular empezando en el año 2004. Estuvo en el Masterclass por varios años y tuvo la oportunidad también de tocar con grupos, acompañando grupos como Sparks, Lorenzo Antonio, la hija de nadie, Yolanda del Río. También tuvo la oportunidad de integrarse al Mariachi Internacional Guadalajara de Germán Gutiérrez en el año 2010. Participó en nuestra celebración de 20 años aquí en Albuquerque, Mariachi Espectacular. Regresó a Chihuahua y comenzó su agrupación con compañeros de la ciudad y amigos dentro del gremio, Mariachi Juvenil del Real, participaciones con Aida Cuevas, Eugenia León, Sheila Durcal, Beatriz Adriana, Ángeles Ochoa, and the list goes on. Es fundador y director musical del Mariachi Internacional del Real, director del Conservatorio de Mariachi de Chihuahua, fundador y director mariachi universitario, Mowak, así se dice, Wash, y fundador y director Mariachi Juvenil del Real. En 2015, no hace mucho, fue en una gira a China con el Mariachi Juvenil del Real, llevando la cultura musical en las ciudades de Shanghai y Beijing, representando a nuestro país en un festival de cultura con más de 20 países. En 2018, en otra gira con el grupo Latinoamérica, fue a Hungary, Siria y Macedonia. En Macedonia tuvieron el honor de ser el primer grupo de música de danza y danza de pisar sus escenarios. En 2019, otra gira a Francia, Festival de Esculturas de Mundo de Monde Biorón Chartues. ¿Así se dice? Sí. 2019 también Palacio de Bellas Artes. Le tocó tocar en Palacio de Bellas Artes, compañía de danza. En 2021, este año, actualmente radicó en la ciudad de Chihuahua, impartió clases a jóvenes y niños, es empleado de la universidad y mariachi de profesión y oficio. Por favor, ayúdenme a darle una bien bonita bienvenida a otro de nuestros violines, Juan Manuel regalado a Naya. Dame un abrazo. Our fourth violinist is a young lady that I've known. I was telling Peter later backstage that I've known most of these kids since they were teeny boppers, so but I'm not feeling old, don't worry. Our next one is such a person I've known since she was a little teeny bopper, even younger than that, I think. She's originally from Whittier, California. Her father, Mark Fogelquist. Any of you that have ever attended our conference will know the name, Mark Fogelquist. This is his daughter. He was a director of Mariachi Yucatán from 1973 to 1993 and owner of a mariachi restaurant in Orange County. Exposure to mariachi music from birth set Monica up for an inevitable love and appreciation for the music. In 1993, she and her parents moved to Wenatchee, Washington. A year later, her father implemented the very first student mariachi program in the Pacific West. Although Monica had been studying the violin since she was 7, it was not until she became a part of her father's mariachi program at age 11 that she took an active interest in the music. Upon graduating from high school in 2001, she moved back to California for college and began her 7-year tenure with Mariachi Reina de Los Angeles. She eventually got into teaching a variety of subjects in California, including mariachi music at the middle, high, and adult school levels. Spanish, social studies, and elementary school, general education. In 2013, she was offered a scholarship to pursue graduate school and play with Mariachi Aztlán at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Upon completing her coursework, she accepted a position to teach mariachi music at Chaparral High School and the College of Southern Nevada in Las Vegas. As of 2018, we are so proud she has served as assistant professor of practice in ethnomusicology and director of Mariachi Paredes at the University of Texas at Austin. She's a Master of Music, Ethnomusicology, August 17, 2017, from UTGV-RGV. She's teaching credential as Spanish and multiple subjects, May 2010, San Diego State University in San Diego, California. Bachelor of Arts was in Spanish in May of 2006, Whittier College, Whittier, California. Please help me welcome this beautiful young lady, Monica Fogelquist. Thank you. Okay, and our fifth, we have 7 violins, but we're going to go through this as quickly as we can. We thought that because we are inducting them into this very special room, that it would be worth the time to let you know them a little bit. This is a lady, another young lady that I've known for so many years. and I'm so proud to introduce her this evening. She began her musical training as a classical violinist. During her 10 years of classical music training, she was a member of the Albuquerque Junior Symphony and Albuquerque Youth Symphony programs in middle school and high school, respectively. With the latter, she had the opportunity to tour around Mexico City, Mexico, and Alberta, Canada, and the surrounding areas. She embarked upon her journey as a professional mariachi in 1994 and played with several well-known groups in the Albuquerque area before accepting an invitation to be the very first female member of Mariachi Tenampa. How many of you know that Mariachi Tenampa? and she remains a member of this well-known and respected all-female local group. More recently, in 2018, she joined the very prestigious all-female show group Mariachi Nuevo Mujer 2000, which is based in Los Angeles, California. With this group, she has performed for Hollywood Bowl's Mariachi USA All-Star Lineup and Albuquerque's own Mariachi Spectacular Concert. On this journey, she has been afforded the opportunity to travel around the United States to teach mariachi workshops, including the Tucson International Mariachi Conference, Mariachi Spectacular of Albuquerque, and the Midland Mariachi Conference, to name a few. She has also traveled as far as Mykonos, Greece, with Mariachi Tenampa, and has shared the stage with many well-known singers. As an alumni of the University of New Mexico, Monica holds dual Bachelor of Science degrees in elementary education and special education, as well as the Master of Arts degree in special education, with a concentration in severe disabilities, and intellectual disability. She's currently head special education teacher at an elementary school here in Albuquerque. Monica is humbled and grateful to be a part of Mariachi Spectacular's very first all-star mariachi ensemble. Please help me welcome Monica Trujillo. Another one of our Albuquerque residents is our sixth violinist. He was born in Albuquerque. Vente pa acá, chefo. He was born here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His family roots lead back to La Barca, Jalisco, Mexico. He's a second-generation mariachi musician. His father, many of you who have loved and supported mariachis in New Mexico will know, Miguel Santiago, was the original director of Mariachi Los Caporales and a former member of Mariachi Tenampa. Jose began studying under the direction of his father at the tender age of 6. He first learned to play the vihuela and guitar, later the trumpet, and finally the violin. So he knows most of the instruments, if not all, which is now his primary instrument. His formal musical education includes 9 years of classroom and private instruction in instrument technique, reading, writing, arranging, and music theory. Since childhood, it was Jose's dream to become a professional mariachi musician, and he is now recognized as one of the best and most respected mariachi violinists in this region. He began playing professionally at the age of 14 with Mariachi Tenampa. His career with Mariachi Tenampa began in 1982 and continued through 2012. As musical director, arranger, violin section leader, and writer, he is credited as being an important part of Tenampa's success. He has participated in the production of 48 professional recordings. Amongst the most well-known from New Mexico are those of Sparks, Lorenzo Antonio, Roberto Griego, Darren Cordova, Nelson Martinez, Freddie Brown, and John Wagner. He has also worked as a studio musician with several different local recording studios in the production of local and nationwide radio and television ads. Jose currently directs his own mariachi trio, Trio Jalicense. Over the past 30 years, Jose has shared his musical knowledge with thousands of young mariachi musicians from all over the United States and Mexico. He's provided workshop music instruction for over 72 music workshops, including some of the most prestigious international mariachi conferences in the United States, such as the Albuquerque Mariachi Spectacular Conference and the Tucson International Mariachi Conference. He's also provided workshop instructions for many other regional conference workshops during his time with Mariachi Tenampa, including the Santa Fe Youth Mariachi Conference, Midland, Texas Mariachi Conference, Las Vegas Youth Mariachi Conference, to name a few, the University of New Mexico's Mariachi Program, and the Santa Fe Youth Symphony Mariachi Program, as well as private instruction as well. He's also served as the director for mariachi program for the Santa Fe Youth Symphony Association. Apart from being a full-time professional mariachi musician, Jose also runs his own home-based stringed instrument business. Since 1998, he has owned and operated Santiago Violins, which is a home-based violin shop. He specializes in the making, restoration, repair, and sale of fine violins, violas, bows, and related accessories. ¿Qué más quieren? Please help me welcome Jose. Oh, I know there's a lot more we could say about our next violinist who I'm so happy could join us. He comes from the valley, the valley in Texas, El Valle de Texas. He resides in Edinburgh, Texas. Creo que ahí naciste también, ¿o dónde naciste?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, born and raised and continues to live in Edinburgh, Texas. He's been playing violin since he was 11 years old, only about 10 years ago. No. And started his career actually in the state of Virginia, would you believe? At the age of 15, Orlando discovered the genre of music, mariachi, and he was immediately astounded by its color and folklore. Orlando went on to play mariachi music since 2007 and still plays today. He has played in such groups as Mariachi 2000, Ave Conomedes High School, Mariachi Oro de Edinburgh North High School, and Mariachi Siete Leguas of McAllen, Texas, and Mariachi Aslan from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Orlando's mission, like I'm sure it is of every one of our stars here, is to preserve the legacy of mariachi by use of mariachi education in the public school system. Please help me welcome Orlando de Leon. And next to our trumpet section, we'd like to introduce, we have our first mariachi trumpist for the Mariachi All-Stars. He's a native northern New Mexico, Robert Lucero. He is affectionately known by most of us as BJ. He began playing music as soon as he could stand and reach the keys on an old piano in his parents' home. Coming from a musical family where he played ranchera music on guitar, trumpet, keyboards, accordion, and vocals with primos and primas, he first began playing mariachi in high school with Mariachi Española, directed by his late father, we all knew, Robert Bobby Lucero. Participation as a student during the early years of Mariachi Spectacular provided formative experiences in Robert's mariachi career. Leaving New Mexico for college, he founded in the fall of 1994 and directed until the spring of 1998 El Mariachi Cardenal de Stanford, which continues to perform to this day. He was instrumental in establishing the mariachi ensemble class in the music department at Stanford University. During and after college, he was honored to teach armonia and trumpet at Mariachi Spectacular and has since been an instructor at mariachi conferences across New Mexico and Texas. During and after Stanford, he played mariachi professionally in and around San Jose, California, including Mariachi Santa Cecilia and Mariachi Azteca. After a year of graduate school at Stanford, he was appointed adjunct faculty in the Stanford Music Department, where he was the lead instructor of the mariachi ensemble class for 5 years. He also taught mariachi in public schools at the Mexican Heritage Corporation Plaza in San Jose, California. Returning to New Mexico in 2005, he began law school at the University of New Mexico, during and after which he performed with Mariachi Tenampa, Tepeyac, and Tapatio. In the fall semester of 2019, he reinitiated his mariachi ensemble class at UNM with the essential help and support of visionary leadership at the UNM College of Fine Arts and Department of Music, as well as his fellow instructors. This was a real accomplishment that we had really been hoping for the 30 years we've been around. So we're very, very grateful that he is there and continues the legacy. He continues to do that, to instruct the UNM Music Department Mariachi Ensemble class. In addition to his music career, Robert's law practice, now in its 14th year, centers on real estate, land use, and estate planning. Talk about variety and versatility, huh? He is active in the community through service on several boards and organizations such as the UNM John Donald Robb Musical Trust and the State Bar of New Mexico Committee on Diversity in the Legal Profession, the UNM School of Alumni, Association past president, and the United Way of Central New Mexico Hispano Philanthropic Society. He has taught an adjunct faculty member at the UNM School of Law and is a frequent presenter at continuing legal education classes. Please help me welcome BJ. Our second trumpeter, we have three. He is, es de Texas, pero está en California, pero bueno, por ahí vamos. Josue, who we also lovingly call Eddie, is an arranger, composer, instructor, and multi-instrumentalist. In 2010, he graduated summa cum laude with a BM in Professional Music, Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. I didn't hear that. Wow. As a conference instructor, he has taught violin, trumpet, guitarrón, and armonía, and has had featured original arrangements in almost all of the large mariachi conferences in the U.S., including Edinburgh, Tucson, San Antonio, National City, Albuquerque, New York City, and more. As a clinician, he has traveled across the country to offer instrumental and arranging clinics to both student and professional groups. In addition, in 2014, he served as assistant director in Roma Independent School District's renowned mariachi program in Roma, Texas. In 2015, he became the guest instructor for Mariachi Cardenal from Stanford University in Stanford, California. As a freelance arranger, he has written hundreds of arrangements for mariachi groups and symphony orchestras across the United States and Mexico as well, including Mariachi Internacional Los Pérez, Mariachi Aslan from UTRGV, Mariachi Universitario de Jacalpa, the San Antonio Symphony Orchestra, the Tucson Pops, the Bakersfield Symphony Orchestra, and the Orquesta Sinfónica de Jalapa, among others. As a recording artist, he has worked with many professional and Grammy Award-winning producers and artists. He currently resides in Los Angeles, California, and continues to be in high demand as a freelance mariachi musician, as well as for his arrangements, recordings, and clinics. Please help me welcome Josue Lopez, known as Eddie. Ven para acá, Eddie. No te vayas sin mi abrazo. Thank you. And our third trumpeter that we have this evening, ven, pasa. Otro guapito aquí, puros guapitos. Again, I'm going to go back to Spanish. So, su nombre es Adrián Mendoza Juárez. Nació en la ciudad de Chihuahua. Tenemos dos chihuahuenses. Él inició sus estudios musicales y de trompeta bajo la dirección de su abuelo. Cumpliendo 8 años de edad, sus padres lo inscribieron en su primer escuela de música, el Centro de Estudios Musicales, tomando clases de solfeo y tocando en orquesta y banda sinfónica de dicha escuela. A los 18 años ingresó al Conservatorio de Música del Estado de Chihuahua por 2 años y posteriormente a la Facultad de Artes de la Universidad Autónoma de Chihuahua por 1 año. Después emigró a Estados Unidos. Tuvo la dicha de tomar cursos de trompeta de mariachi y tener como tutor al mariachi Crescencio Chencho Hernandez, siendo ahí donde conoció el estilo y la técnica para interpretar la música de mariachi. En el año 2008 fue su primer participación en el Mariachi Espectacular de Albuquerque, siendo esta su motivación para seguir estudiando la música mexicana, al compartir con tantos estudiantes e increíbles maestros. En el año 2013 cumplió uno de sus sueños, el pertenecer al Mariachi Sol de México, del maestro José Hernández. Por 5 años dando conciertos por todos Estados Unidos y México, así como también participando en talleres en festival y conferencias de mariachi. Una bienvenida, por favor, para nuestro trompetista Adrián Mendoza Juárez. Next we have, we're getting into our harmony section now, but starting with the harp, we have Adrian Perez. Over the last 17 years, Adrian's musical endeavors have centered on the study, preservation, and development of the Mexican folk art traditions. Adrian Perez is a recognized harpist amongst the traditional folk arts music community, encompassing music traditions from the western states of Mexico, Jalisco, and Michoacan, to the southern coast in Veracruz, which are reflective of the mariachi and jarocho harp traditions. As a student of world-renowned master musicians deeply rooted in Mexican traditional music since 2004, Adrián has developed a pedagogical, así se dice, ¿verdad? Así se dice. Approach to not only learning, but diffusing this acquired knowledge through the design of curriculum that has been utilized in school districts in the states of California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, and Texas. In addition, Adrian has established himself as a leading practitioner of Mexican folk art by performing cultural music events spanning from the United States to France, making a significant impact on young students learning the art form. He has a distinct honor and privilege of learning from and performing with Mariachi Los Camperos en Naticano and Mariachi Cobre, and cross stages and music conferences spanning from California to Maine. He's also been invited to perform with a conjunto de arpa grande, a tradition of Michoacan, for the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. Adrian has his bachelor's in sciences degree in mechanical engineering and is currently an engineering project manager for a worldwide Fortune 500 aerospace defense company, Raytheon Technologies, combining a musical pedagogy and an engineering approach to teaching mariachi music. He has succeeded in multiple facets of mariachi music instruction, planning and execution of concert events amongst the Arizona, Texas mariachi community as an advocate for the diffusion, support, and the performance of traditional arts. He continues to mentor and teach his Tucson-based youth mariachi group, Mariachi Milagro, directing semi-professional ensemble Mariachi Tesoro, in addition to serving as a board member for the Tucson International Mariachi Conference. Please help me welcome Adrián Perez. Our next harmony player, ya empezamos con la armonía, ya mero, ¿a qué horas son? Nos estamos pasando mucho de tiempo. ¿Sí? Ok. Ya mero. Nathan Garcia is originally from Odessa, Texas, not far from here. He started performing mariachi music at Hector Junior High, where he learned to play guitarrón and to sing. He continued through high school performing in the Odessa High School Mariachi program. In fall of 2010, he attended Odessa College to pursue an education in music. He then started taking vocal lessons with voice studies and choir director and tenor baritone, David Corman. In this 2-year span, Nathan was involved with programs of spring operettas as a tenor for Pagliacci, La Boheme, and Pirates of Penzance, así se dice? Penzance, Sweeney Todd. In the fall of 2014, he graduated with his associates in music from Odessa College. In the spring of 2014, Nathan transferred to the back then University of Texas Pan American, now University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, to perform with the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley's Mariachi Aztlán and pursue a degree in kinesiology with a minor in voice. Nathan and Mariachi Aztlán have performed in many states in the country, have been clinicians for many mariachi conferences, and have played along stage with top professional mariachi groups and singers. In August of 2019, Nathan graduated from the University of Texas with his bachelor's in kinesiology with a minor in music and was the head mariachi director at Donna North High School in Donna, Texas. He is just recently, I think he's in the process of moving, but his most recent accomplishment was the actual invitation from the one of the nation's, America's top 5 or so mariachi groups, recognized and very popular. But he was invited to join their team after the death of one of their members from COVID-19. So he will be, has joined Mariachi Los Camperos de Naticano. Nathan Garcia. And next in our Armonía section is one of our New Mexico as well. Oh my gosh, this young man. I remember him. He wasn't much shorter. Coming to the state fair and performing on drums for his mom. He was, in fact, born into a musical family in the city of Española, New Mexico. His parents, Angel and James, were musicians involved in the music industry full time. His mother, as many of you know, is a recording artist, and his father a producer and actor. He grew up surrounded by music and instruments in an industry that his family was heavily involved in. As a child, he began discovering his own talents in music. Santiago was born singing and beginning to play the drums at the young age of 4. When he turned 7, he recorded his first single, which was aired on the radio. A few years later, he came to fall in love with the music of mariachi and learned how to play several mariachi instruments. In school, his musical talent became evident as his teachers began to take notice, and they helped him develop his musical skills. One very special person in his life was El Divo de Juárez, Juan Gabriel. He was one of the first people to visit Santiago at the hospital on the day that he was born, on the 5th of January, a date that meant a lot to Juan Gabriel since it was just 2 days before his own birthday, which was on January 7th. Juan Gabriel was his padrino, and the two maintained a special bond ever since that day. Santiago's full name is Santiago José Alberto Espinosa, Santiago after his father, José after his grandfather, and Alberto for his padrino, Alberto Aguilera Valadez. Thus, his artistic name being Santiago Alberto is a tribute to both his father and his padrino. At the age of 12, Santiago joined the mariachi program at the Española Middle School under the direction of Mr. Alfonso Trujillo, where he learned to play the vihuela, guitarrón, guitar, and sang, performing with the mariachi throughout middle school and high school. One of the highlights of playing in Mariachi Sol del Valle in high school was when they performed at the presidential inaugural parade for President Barack Obama in Washington, D.C. in 2009. And I do believe Mr. Alfonso Trujillo is with us this evening. Welcome, Alfonso. ¿Dónde estás? Upon graduating from Española High School, he worked with local mariachi groups. He joined Mariachi Tradicional, where he played throughout his college years while attending the University of New Mexico. Santiago eventually moved to Los Angeles, California, working as a professional mariachi producer and educator, all while transitioning to Los Angeles. He finished school and graduated with a bachelor's degree from the University of New Mexico. During this time, Santiago began to develop a personal project that he had been thinking about for a while, with his first album, which he had already began working on with the guidance of Juan Gabriel. On May 10th, 2019, Santiago's first album, Con Amor, was released. Con Amor features 2 original songs written by Santiago Alberto and a collection of covers with a modern mariachi twist. Other songs mix contemporary rhythms with a mariachi. The song received millions of views on its music video and on YouTube, and won Song of the Year, CD of the Year, and Male Vocalist of the Year at the 2020 New Mexico Hispano Music Awards. In 2019, Santiago Alberto was the headline artist for Mariachi Extravaganza de Santa Fe concert, where he performed to a sold-out audience at the prestigious Santa Fe Opera Crosby Theater. He has also appeared on major Latin shows such as Despierta América, CNN Español, Al Rojo Vivo, Suelta la Sopa, América TV, People en Español, Acceso Total, and the list goes on. He also is a voting member of both the Grammys and the Latin Grammys. Apart from Santiago's solo music career and being a music producer, Santiago is also a music educator. He is the lead instructor for the Jose Hernandez Mariachi Academy in Los Angeles, where they teach mariachi music to the youth in Southern California. He's also a member of Mariachi Rams, which is the first official mariachi of an NFL football team for the Los Angeles Rams. He is the assistant musical director under Jose Hernandez for Mariachi Rams. Please help me welcome Santiago Espinosa. That's okay. And lastly, I believe, well, not lastly of the Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars Ensemble, we have a young man that I also remember as a very young kid, a little teeny bopper, and is currently now doing wonderful things. He has a bachelor's degree in Mexican American Studies with a minor in music from the University of Texas Pan American and a master's in ethnomusicology from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. He specializes in mariachi performance practice. He is frequently invited to give guitar clinics throughout Mexico and the United States. He has also taught as a mariachi armonía specialist at multiple mariachi conferences and workshops from 2002 to the present. Owing to his vast experience, Adolfo has had the honor of performing with some of the world's premier mariachi ensembles, including Mariachi Tecaltepec, Mariachi Tierra Querida de Ismael Hernandez, Mariachi Internacional Guadalajara, and Vargas de Tecalitlán. He currently is an instructor and PhD candidate for a fine arts in musicology at Texas State University. His academic work focuses on the social, cultural, historical, and musical aspects of the mariachi tradition. Please welcome Adolfo Estrada. I'm sorry. Thank you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our premier group, our very first group. This is a tradition, like I said, that we hope continues far into the future in recognizing and honoring this new generation of musicians. Our 2021 Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars Ensemble. Please welcome. When I get a crazy idea, I get a crazy idea. But the first thing I do is I go to my accomplice to get it done, because I can get the idea, but I have trouble getting things done. But he doesn't. So the first person that I was fortunate and very, very honored to call my friend and my accomplice in so many things that I do. Without his help and his mentorship, I don't know. I have just the passion for the music. He has the passion plus so much more. I invited him and he accepted lovingly, willingly, and gladly to work with these young students, which are his passion, part of his mariachi passion to pass on and work with young people. Our musical director this evening is Jose Hernandez. He's a master of mariachi music. He's an internationally recognized musician, composer, and educator. Jose Hernandez continues to break boundaries in the world of mariachi. Truly, a fifth-generation mariachi, Jose brings the pleasure of mariachi music to audiences all across the globe. He is the founder of two world-famous ensembles, Mariachi Sol de Mexico and Reina de Los Angeles, America's first all-female professional mariachi ensemble. He continues to advance the art of mariachi with daring new compositions and arrangements. He has composed, arranged, and provided music for 15 Sol de Mexico albums. He has arranged and provided music for he sings and plays trumpet, violin, guitarrón, and vihuela, and has performed in some of the most renowned venues around the world. He has recorded with the most respected and recognized names in the industry, including Selena, Vicente Fernandez, Luis Miguel, Bryan Adams, the Beach Boys, and has received 4 Grammy nominations. Jose's musical inspirations are rich and diverse, ranging from Leonard Bernstein to Agustin Lara, Glenn Miller to Jose Alfredo Jimenez. One of Jose's proudest achievements is establishing the Sol de Mexico Symphony Orchestra, bringing this powerful and vibrant sound to mariachi lovers around the world. Jose is an impassioned ambassador of mariachi music. He works hard to inspire and empower the next generation of musicians through the educational initiatives he has developed, the Mariachi Nationals and Summer Institute, and the Mariachi Heritage Society. The humble endeavor of Jose Hernandez is to remain the voice and medium for mariachi, to reflect the treasured cultural heritage through the pages of mariachi, to express his soulful vision of mariachi without end. This, to Jose, is the passion of mariachi. He is the conductor of mariachi groups Sol de Mexico and Reina de Los Angeles. He's a musical director of the prestigious Las Vegas International Mariachi Festival. He's the founder of Mariachi Nationals and Summer Institute, founder of the Mariachi Heritage Society, and my resource, my go-to for help when I get a crazy idea, but a wonderful idea. He's willing to join. He helped and is responsible for helping me be a co-founder of the Mariachi Spectacular here in Albuquerque over 31 years ago. Please help me welcome this wonderful, fantastic, amazing musician with a passion for mariachi music. Our director for this group in this first year, Jose Hernandez. Where are you? No te me dormiste.
mariachi entusiasmado lanza sones sin parar. El palenque se rebosa con la sangre de un tapado y una china coquetona busca amores al cantar. México. Que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan aquí. México lindo y querido, si muero lejos
no vale nada la vida no vale nada. Comienza siempre llorando y así llorando se acaba. Por eso es que en este mundo la vida no vale nada. Ahora, muchachos.
Bonito León, Guanajuato, su feria con su jugada. Allí se apuesta la vida y se respeta el que gana. Allí en mi León, Guanajuato, la vida no vale nada.
Ay, ay, ay. Ahí te vamos, José Alfredo. Ay, ay.
Y se canta.
Camino de Guanajuato, que pasas por tanto pueblo. No pases por Salamanca, que allí me hiere el recuerdo. Vete rodeando veredas, no pases porque me muero.
El Cristo de su montaña, del cerro del jubilete. Consuelo de los que sufren, adoración de la gente. El Cristo de su montaña, del cerro del jubilete.
Camino de Santa Rosa, la sierra de Guanajuato. Allí nomás tras Lomita se ve Dolores Hidalgo.
Yo allí me quedo paisano, allí es mi pueblo.
Muchas gracias.
Muy buenas noches, ¿cómo le está pasando? ¿Bien? Doesn't it feel great to be at a live mariachi concert? So, we're all honored to be up here tonight, and we just wanted to make a special thank you to Noberta Fresques, the whole team here at Mariachi Spectacular for putting this on and making Mariachi Spectacular happen this year. So our next piece is going to be tribute to one of the icons of mariachi, who's part of the Mariachi Hall of Fame here at the Mariachi Spectacular. Our show is made up of arrangements from all the icons and legends who have come to this conference over the years to teach all of us and share their music with us. And so this next piece was written by Maestro Ruben Fuentes. It was one of the biggest hits he wrote early on for Pedro Infante. And so we're going to start off with Cien Años. Pasaste a mi lado con gran indiferencia. Tus ojos ni siquiera volvieron hacia mí. Te vi sin que me vieras sin que me oyeras y toda mi amargura se ahogó dentro de mí. Me duele hasta la vida saber que me olvidaste, pensar que ni desprecio merezca yo de ti. Y sin embargo sigues unida a mi existencia. Y si vivo 100 años, 100 años pienso en ti. ¡Ay, amor! Me duele hasta la vida saber que me olvidaste, pensar que ni desprecio merezca yo de ti. Y sin embargo sigues unida a mi existencia. Y si vivo 100 años, 100 años pienso en ti. Pienso en ti. Gracias.
Good evening, everybody. The next song that we're going to do is a tribute to Miguel Martinez, who was a legend of the mariachi trumpet, really the originator of the mariachi sound. And we were so fortunate to have him with us for so many years. And so we wanted to do this son, El Tirador, as a tribute to Don Miguel Martinez. Gracias.
Chaparrita de mi vida, por tu amor ando penando. Soy
fuerte aplauso para las trompetas nuevamente, por favor.
All right, this next piece was composed by our musical director, Maestro José Hernandez, and it's a song titled Mexico Vive. We rehearsed it earlier today with him, and he shared some inside information on how it came to be. And he said he got the inspiration from it, well, to write it, in 1985 after the earthquake happened in Mexico City. So this song has a very strong message of Mexico Vive, so we take it in our hearts. And, we're so happy that he came to work with us here. So we'd like to dedicate this to him. Yo soy mexicano orgulloso, le doy todo mi corazón a mi tierra consentida, que me llena de emoción cuando grito México. No hay otra tierra que cante de amor y de felicidad. Su mar y su sol caliente me atrae a donde ella está para poderla adorar.
Yo sé que México siempre vive en mi corazón. Mi orgullo nunca se acabará, por él vivo yo.
Llevo su historia grabada en mi pensamiento. Siento muy adentro, dentro de mi cuerpo, que México vivirá.
México siempre vive en mi corazón. Mi orgullo nunca se apagará, por él vivo yo.
Llevo su historia grabada en mi pensamiento. Siento muy adentro, dentro de mi cuerpo, que México vivirá en mi corazón. Y que viva México, sí señor.
Me dio un regalo de herencia, amor, un amor sin igual, su música de mariachi que canto sin descansar por mi México natal.
Yo sé que México siempre vive en mi corazón. Mi orgullo nunca se acabará, por él vivo yo.
Llevo su historia grabada en mi pensamiento. Siento muy adentro, dentro de mi cuerpo, que México vivirá.
México siempre vive en mi corazón.
Mexicano orgulloso,
Nunca se acabará, por él vivo yo.
Llevo su historia grabada en mi pensamiento. Siento muy adentro, dentro de mi cuerpo, que México vivirá.
En mi corazón.
Gracias.
Si nos dejan, nos vamos a querer toda la vida. Si nos dejan, nos vamos a vivir a un mundo nuevo. Yo creo podemos ver el nuevo amanecer de un nuevo día. Yo pienso que tú y yo podemos ser felices todavía. Si nos dejan, buscamos un rincón cerca del cielo. Si nos dejan, haremos de las nubes terciopelo. Y ahí, juntitos los dos, cerquita de Dios, será lo que soñamos. Si nos dejan, te llevo de la mano, corazón, y ahí nos vamos. Si nos dejan, buscamos un rincón cerca del cielo. Si nos dejan, haremos con las nubes terciopelo. Y ahí, juntitos los dos, cerquita de Dios, será lo que soñamos. Si nos dejan, te llevo de la mano, corazón, y ahí nos vamos. Si nos dejan, de todo lo demás nos olvidamos. Si nos dejan.
Si nos dejan.
Gracias, thank you.
Siento en el alma muchas ganas de llorar, pero no lloro porque tengo mucho orgullo. Has destrozado este amor que fue tan tuyo, no más por irte por el mundo a aventurar. Pero es inútil, vale más que no regreses si es que no quieres saborear de una venganza. Tú bien lo sabes que mi amor no lo mereces. Hablando claro, no te tengo ya confianza. ¡Ay! ¡Ahora chaparrita! ¡Qué manera, mi bonito! Pero algún día de mi amor te acordarás y tú a mi lado volverás arrepentida con la esperanza que te cure yo la herida y el sufrimiento que en el alma tú traerás. Pero es inútil, vale más que no regreses si es que no quieres saborear de una venganza. Tú bien lo sabes que mi amor no lo mereces. Hablando claro, no te tengo ya confianza.
Gracias.
Good evening. We hope that you're enjoying the show so far. Wonderful. It's a real honor to come together and to work with Maestro Jose Hernandez, but also to be able to fulfill one of Noberta's dreams, and she's just so special to all of us. So thank you again, Noberta, for the invitation, and thank you to the entire staff of the Mariachi Spectacular for having us and for your generosity, for your hospitality. We've had a wonderful week. This next piece that I'd like to introduce is called Unos Ojos, and it was featured on Linda Ronstadt's Canciones de mi Padre, which came out in the late 1980s and was really a revival of interest in mariachi music for Mexican Americans and for non-Mexicans living here in the United States. And she was very instrumental in refueling the enthusiasm and excitement for mariachi music, and we probably would not be standing here tonight without her efforts to really promote Mexican music among Mexican American and non-Mexican communities across the United States. So once again, this next piece is Hay Unos Ojos in collaboration with a guitar solo from the wonderful Adolfo Estrada.
Hacen que mi alma tiemble de amor. Son unos ojos tan primorosos, ojos más lindos no he visto yo. Hay quien pudiera mirarse en ellos, hay quien pudiera besarlos más, gozando siempre de sus destellos. Y no olvidarlos nunca jamás. Ay, amor. Y todos dicen que no te quiero, que no te adoro con frenesí. Y yo les digo que mienten, mienten, que hasta la vida daría por ti. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
So this next piece, I had the honor of writing the arrangement for. And it's so humbling to be asked to be included as a part of this mariachi, but to also have one of my arrangements included tonight. And the piece was actually written by my padrino, Juan Gabriel. So it's even more special that it's written by him, and I got to write this arrangement. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Amor de un rato. Eso, mero. ¡Viva México, señores! Ella es joven y bonita, eso nadie se lo quita, pero cuando la conozcan y cuando besen su boquita, van a ver que se equivoca, que se harán su aventurita, que no toma nada en serio, que es una interesadita. Se los digo con franqueza, cuídense de esa mujer. Oigan bien este consejo, mírense en este espejo, porque demasiado tarde es que lo vine yo a saber. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como pasa rato y luego les dice adiós. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como pasa rato y luego les dice adiós. Navega con bandera de ser buena piel y honrada, pero es una embustera de esas gentes de dos caras. Finge ser siempre sincera, finge estar enamorada, que no toma nada en serio y como amiga sale cara. Ay amigos, qué tristeza, se los digo con franqueza, cuídense de esa mujer. Oigan bien este consejo, mírense en este espejo, porque demasiado tarde es que lo vine yo a saber. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como pasa rato y luego les dice adiós. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como un pasarrato y luego les dice adiós. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como un pasarrato y luego les dice adiós. A todo dice que sí, a nada dice que no. Los ve como un pasarrato y luego les dice adiós. Gracias. Aguas con esas mujeres.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. We're very happy to be here once again after last year. We didn't get to be here, so we're very, very thankful to Norberta and to everybody. This next piece we're going to be performing for you all is an instrumental written in collaboration between Jesus Rodriguez de Ijar and Rigoberto Alfaro, which are both part of the Hall of Fame here in Mariachi Espectacular. It is a trumpet feature. It's going to be featuring us three, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called La Fuente. Thank you.
The next piece that we're going to play for you is a beautiful huapango by José Alfredo Jimenez, A la Luz de los Cocuyos, which was also a featured arrangement of Maestro Rigoberto Alfaro within the past 5 years of the conference. And so it's really wonderful that we can revisit this music and perform it in a new space so that our maestro's efforts are not in vain and so that they're not forgotten. And Rigoberto, maestro, donde esté ahora, le damos este pequeño homenaje, lo queremos mucho. Gracias.
Ay, amor de mis amores, te vengo a cantar mi copla. Ando llena de ilusiones y quiero besar tu boca. Quiero decirte cositas que traigo dentro del alma, pero como son bonitas, quiero decirlas con calma. Yo no sé si vengas tú, yo no sé si vaya yo, pero has de sentir mis besos y yo he de sentir los tuyos. Hemos de quedarnos presos a la luz de los cocuyos. Te quiero mirar bonita, sin penas y sin orgullo, y quiero echarme en tus brazos a la luz de los cocuyos. Ahora, muchachos, tóquenle bonito. ¿Cuántas noches de tu vida habrás pasado conmigo, contando las estrellitas y solo Dios de testigo? Siempre con la cara al cielo, cobijados por la luna, contando las estrellitas, decirles una por una. Yo no sé si vengas tú, yo no sé si vaya yo, pero has de sentir mis besos y yo he de sentir los tuyos. Hemos de quedarnos presos a la luz de los cocuyos. Te quiero mirar bonita, sin penas y sin orgullo, y quiero echarme en tus brazos a la luz de los cocuyos, a la luz de los cocuyos. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
This next song is a very special song by un gran cantante, Vicente Fernandez. Are you guys familiar with Vicente Fernandez? But what's so special about this song is that it's Norberta's favorite song. Fuerte el aplauso que se escuche para Vicente y para Norberta. Por favor. Ahí te va, Norberta. Can we get Norberta on stage for this one? Is that okay? Norberta? Can we have you here? We want to serenade you here in front of... Fuerte el aplauso para que se anime, para que venga al escenario. Claro, le debemos mucho a ella, por eso estamos aquí hoy. Ahí te va tu canción, Hermoso Cariño.
Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño, que Dios me ha mandado, va a ser destinado nomás para mí. Precioso regalo, precioso grandioso regalo del cielo ha llegado y que me ha colmado de dicha y amor. Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño. Estoy como un niño con nuevo juguete, contento y feliz. No puedo evitarlo y quiero gritarlo. Hermoso cariño que Dios ha mandado no más para mí. ¡Eso, mero mariachi! Fuerte el aplauso para Vive. Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño. Estoy como un niño con nuevo juguete, contento y feliz. No puedo evitarlo y quiero gritarlo. Hermoso cariño que Dios ha mandado no más para mí.
Gracias, Roberta. Sí, señor.
Sí, señor.
Sí, señor.
¿Les está gustando? Muy buenas noches a todos ustedes. ¿Sí me escuchan? Mi nombre es Orlando de León. Es un placer estar aquí con todos ustedes. Aquí con todos mis compañeros del Mariachi Spectacular All Stars 2021. Quiero agradecerle mucho al maestro José Hernandez por regalarnos esta música muy bonita y en particular este arreglo que vamos a tocar, un tango, esta bonita canción titulada Por una cabeza. Ojalá y les guste. Está caliente. Voy a tocar un solo de violín. Ojalá y les guste.
no nos queremos despedir de todos ustedes esta noche sin invocar. No, ¿cómo cree? No nos podemos despedir sin invocar una vez más el espíritu y presencia de dos grandes de la música mexicana. Primeramente, el maestro Rigoberto Alfaro, lo cual escribió el arreglo original de este tema. Y por supuesto, el gran cantautor mexicano José Alfredo Jimenez. Aquí para todos ustedes, el rey.
¡Ahora, muchachos! ¡Fúyale! Yo sé bien que estoy afuera, pero el día en que yo me muera, sé que tendrás que llorar. Dirás que no me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste y así te vas a quedar. Con dinero y sin dinero hago siempre lo que quiero y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina ni nadie en que me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey. ¡Ahora, Rigoberto! ¡Ahí te voy, compadre! Una piedra del camino me enseñó que mi destino era rodar y rodar. Después me dijo un arriero que no hay que llegar primero, pero hay que saber llegar. Con dinero y sin dinero hago siempre lo que quiero y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina ni nadie en que me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey. Gracias.
El siguiente tema es un popurrí de 4 canciones jarochas de Veracruz. Empezamos con Mariachi, sigue La Bruja también, por ahí está. Es en homenaje a Antonio Maciel y a Pepe Martinez, que fue quien creó este popurrí. ¡Viva Veracruz!
Por aquí pasó volando una calandria amarilla, una calandria amarilla. Por aquí pasó volando. Por aquí pasó volando una calandria amarilla, una calandria amarilla. Por aquí pasó volando. En su piquito llevaba una rosa de Castilla que el viento la deshojaba como blanca maravilla. En su piquito llevaba una rosa de Castilla que el viento la deshojaba como blanca maravilla. Maña Chuchenga se estaba bañando y el techador por su casa pasando y le decía: María, María, ni techo tu casa, ni techo la mía, ni techo tu casa, ni techo la mía, ni techo la casa de María García.
¡Oiga! Esos violines, sí señor. Un aplauso. Este torito que traigo, lo traigo de este Tepango. Lo traigo de este Tepango. Este torito que traigo, y lo vengo manteniendo con cascaritas de mango. Este torito que traigo, lo traigo desde Tepango. Lázalo, Lázalo que se te fue. Échame tus brazos, mi alma, si me tienes voluntad. Lázalo, Lázalo que se te fue. Échame tus brazos, mi alma, y nunca te olvidaré. Sáquenle polvito, compañeros. ¡Ay, ay, ay, ay! ¡Eso, mero! Este torito que traigo, lo traigo desde Jalapa. Lo traigo desde Jalapa. Este torito que traigo, y lo vengo manteniendo con cascaritas de papa. Este torito que traigo, lo traigo desde Jalapa. Lázalo, Lázalo que se te va. Échame tus besos, mi alma, si me tienes voluntad. Lázalo, Lázalo que se te fue. Échame tus besos, mi alma, y nunca te olvidaré. A las mujeres. Y acábense ese violín. Volar a las 11 de la noche, a las 11 de la noche. Ay, qué bonito es volar, ay, mamá.
Venir a quedar en los tirantes de un coche, en los tirantes de un coche. Hasta quisiera llorar, ay, mamá.
Me agarra la bruja y me lleva al cuartel, me vuelve maceta y me da de comer. Me agarra la bruja y me lleva a su casa, me vuelve maceta y me da calabaza.
Dígame, dígame usted, ¿cuántas criaturitas se ha chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 no sé. Ando en pretensiones de chuparme a usted.
Estaba María Chuchena,
sentadita en la barranca, sentadita en la barranca. Estaba María Chuchena,
con su vestido en las piernas, recogiendo flores blancas. Estaba María Chuchena, sentadita en la barranca,
con su vestido en las piernas, recogiendo flores
flores blancas estaba María Chuchena, sentadita en la barranca. María Chuchena se fue a bañar, orillas del río, juntito al mar. María Chuchena se estaba bañando y el techador la estaba mirando y le decía: María, María, ni te echo tu casa, ni te echo la ajena, ni te echo tu casa, ni te echo la ajena, ni te echo la casa de María Chuchena. Ay, ay. Sí, señor. Sí, señor. Gracias. ¿Y quieren otra? Claro que sí.
Volando, negrita de mis pesares, ojos de papel volando, a todos diles que sí, pero no les digas cuando así me dijiste a mí, por eso vivo penando. Ver aquí con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Petit. Cuando me traes a mi negra que la quiero ver aquí con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Petit.
No te rajes, Jalisco. ¡Ay, ay, ay! Sí, señor.
At this time, we would also like to recognize our musical director, Mr. Maestro José Hernandez. Un fuerte aplauso, por favor. El maestro de maestros.
Por favor, un fuerte aplauso para todos estos jóvenes talentosos que aman la música mexicana. Y por favor, quiero invitar a nuestra reina aquí, a Noberta. Por favor, Noberta, venga para acá. Un aplauso para Noberta Freses, por favor.
Last announcement for this evening, and that is the winner of last night's virtual competition showcase. Competition is Mariachi McAllen High from Edinburgh, Texas, or McAllen, Texas. Mariachi, under the direction of Alex Trevino.
Sí, señor. Bravo, gracias.